Samuel Gority.
A sister from the congregation of the African. Almighty God,
these participants have had first-class patriotism lectures from high-level professionals. They were also trained in standard parade drills by skilled military personnel. I am sure the quality of patriotism they have acquired is standard. They will never forget the knowledge they acquired from this training.
Your Excellency, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you and introduce to you the theme of this patriotism training, which is transforming teachers' lives through patriotism. I am Asime Perez, a teacher at Kikatsid Secondary School, Chiruhura District. Further appreciation go to you, Your Excellency, for employing us on government payroll and meeting our financial obligations year after year. Our dear President, we are indebted to you for enhancing teachers of science salaries and the fruitful engagement you had with teachers of arts in regard to their salary enhancements come 2026-2027 financial year. A poor teacher has to part with a minimum of 1 million shillings and sometimes even fails to be recruited. They have agents through whom these bribes are solicited. We beg for your positive action, Your Excellency. It is observed that the technical schools recruit majority of the students at all levels of education, but these ever-increasing numbers study in congested workshops. We therefore request that you look into the matter and these community polytechnics are availed with adequate infrastructure because they are overwhelmed by the numbers.
In this cohort, Your Excellency, we have 991 males and 381 females, totaling to 1,372. But sufficing to note that we have 12 breastfeeding mothers amongst them, and also 8 expectant mothers. We also have 4 persons with disabilities who endured throughout the course, and this cohort, Your Excellency, for the record, is drawn from the districts of Mbarara, Ntungamo, Kazo, Rwampara, Ibanda, Chiruhura, Isinjiro, and Mbarara City.
Your Excellency and Mama, the National Secretariat for Patriotism Corps organized this training for secondary school teachers from this region following requests from a number of teachers who felt that they needed to undergo the training so that they become change agents to the students and the communities around them. The objectives of the training were to empower teachers in promoting patriotism through role modeling, discipline, and a commitment to national cause, ultimately developing a generation of responsible and loyal citizens. To also develop the ability to foster harmony and the spirit of hard work for national building and hence wealth creation. To inculcate norms and values of patriotism in the teachers, this is to enable the teachers and students have the same level of patriotism skills. These have been achieved, and we are indeed grateful to you, Your Excellency and Mama, for your strategic guidance and leadership. Your Excellency and Mama, you may recall that last year, the Patriotism Secretariat successfully conducted a number of training programs for secondary head teachers from all regions of this country at the National Leadership Institute, Chankwanzi. The outcome from these trainings have been very good, as a number of head teachers from both government and private schools have organized patriotism trainings for their students. This training of secondary school teachers will therefore help to put teachers and their learners at the same level of ideological consciousness.
I congratulate all the teachers
who have successfully completed this life-impacting training that I believe will transform our schools and, above all, to start with the lives of the individual participants, the teachers themselves. I must thank Ms. Helen Seku and entire National Patriotism Secretariat for the job well done in keeping the fire of patriotism burning. Thank you. Keeping this fire of patriotism burning in the hearts of our young people, the students and pupils, and now reaching out to touch the teaching service itself. Thank you so much. I want to thank the President for coming here today to be with these frontline soldiers in our education service delivery army. Your presence not only inspires them, but the wisdom you share with them transcends this time you spend with them. This demonstrates the importance you place on this training, which nurtures responsible citizens with a positive attitude and a strong commitment to playing their role in the development of our homeland. Your Excellency, our teachers are a critical asset in this country in imparting the value of patriotism in the minds and hearts of the young people in our country. The time a teacher spends in the time of a child or young person is valuable in modeling what it means to love one's country. This love for one's country is demonstrated when citizens put the interests of their country before the pursuit of personal interests. This embodies what a former president of the USA, President Kennedy, said when he talked about asking not what your country can do for you, but asking what you can do for your country. The spirit of patriotism challenges the citizen to look at himself or herself as a central contributor to his nation's well-being for the common interest of all, as opposed to focusing on the pursuit of personal interests and gain. Therefore, the prosperity of a nation cannot be divorced from the patriotism of its people. When service, hard work, and unity are passed in the interests of the common good of people in the nation, such a society is unstoppable in whatever they set themselves to do. And there are several examples of nations that have transformed themselves into socio-economic giants by simply pursuing ambitious goals for the nation in the best interest of the common good. The teacher, as the individual and collectively, has a divine duty of providing leadership not only in education of the citizen, but modeling the way of patriotism. However, wages or money cannot be all that motivates an individual to wake up daily to deliver a service day in and day out. There must be greater motivation than that. In a phased manner, the government shall indeed address the issue of salaries of all the teachers and all civil servants. But I want to challenge you at the individual and collective level that better pay and a promotion cannot be all that there is in a career. Therefore, I take this opportunity to thank you, our foot soldiers, the teachers, for the work you do in nurturing our young learners. You are a significant part of our work, which is to provide quality education and sports for our children. Even in our pursuit as a country to provide quality education that is completely free and accessible to all, this learner needs to find a patriotic teacher in the school. Certainly, there are ways of expressing one's dissatisfaction without necessarily destroying what is before them. The learner who comes to school and does not find a teacher in the classroom is being destroyed. Let me now appeal to you that as a country, we are not yet in that place where we have all the resources. We need to do our work, but the NRM government, your government, is working systematically with sincere determination to ensure that your hard work is met with a fair remuneration that you all deserve. Each one of us must continue to lay their brick on this building called Uganda, never forgetting the sacrifice of others. With your commissioning today, torchbearers in your respective schools and communities, I urge you to teach the younger generation to live lives that are free of habits and behavior of corruption. I want to recruit you as a critical mass of foot soldiers in the war against corruption. The corruption that takes place at school level, beyond the academics, please reach out. Reach out to these children's hearts and urge them to shun corruption. Teach them to be good stewards of all the resources that they may have, even their own bodies, entrusted to them, and to honor God in whatever they do.
This effort of patriotism, which I launched in 2009, is very crucial for the country to know what to do. It is very dangerous to have citizens, especially the educated people, who don't know what is required to live a good life. They don't know. They are talking about this, talking about that, but they don't know. This is why I keep saying management of society is like medicine, where the doctor must make a diagnosis of the society, of a patient, find out what the patient is suffering from, and therefore prescribe a medicine. Similarly, leaders, whatever they are, political, cultural, religious, they must have a correct diagnosis of society. If they don't, that society will fail. Even the Bible talks about it. It talks of a country without a vision perishes. So this is the second form of wealth. Number one, agriculture, wealth. Number two, artisan and manufacturing. Number three are services. You teachers, you are service providers. When you teach children, you are not producing eggs, you are not producing milk, you are not producing bananas, but you are providing knowledge. You are service providers. So you are in the same sector, like hospitality. If somebody has got a hotel, that's a service. A border transporting me on the motorcycle, that's a service. Transport, tourism, that's services. So you can also have wealth in the services. And then finally ICT. That's the other sector. It's also a service, but a modern one, which has come, which we treat it differently. So therefore, you should all be clear that, yes, there is Ntunguka, development, roads, which are ours, but in my house, I must have a wealth, form of wealth, either commercial agriculture or manufacturing or services or products of ICT. So this is very crucial for us to get prosperity. Remember the prosperity we want. Now, the moment you are clear about that, then now that's how we come to the NRM principles, the one they taught you here, patriotism. Because the moment you become a wealth creator, like me and Mama, from the very beginning, we are agricultural people, producing milk, producing beef, producing bananas in Ntungamo and other places. But the question was, if you produce a good or a service, who buys it? Who buys what you produce? Who buys our milk? When I produce milk in Rwakitura, the Banyankole don't buy so much from me because they all have milk. I have milk, they have milk. I have beef, they have beef. I have bananas, they have bananas. So the majority of the people who buy from us here in Ankole are people from Kampala. They're the ones who buy much of the milk, the beef, the bananas, and the other products. So it is Uganda which helps Ankole to get out of poverty, mainly. Yes, some of the locals also buy, but the majority are the ones from Kampala. So therefore, you will find that the prosperity of Ankole depends a lot on Uganda. Uganda buys the product of Ankole. Uganda buys the product of Buganda. Uganda buys the products of Acholi. You can find Acholi is producing simsim in Kitgum, all of them simsim. They don't easily buy from one another. But the people of Kampala are the ones who buy the simsim. And that's why we were able to say, oh, you people love Uganda. Why love Uganda? Because you need it for your own good, for your own prosperity. Hence, patriotism. That patriotism, as Sekou was saying, is not emotional, just love. No. You love because you need it for your own good. If you say you care about Banyankole, but you don't care about Uganda, you are not serious. Because Uganda is the one which helps the Banyankole to be prosperous. It's the one which helps the Baganda to be prosperous. So that is the first principle, patriotism. In order to do what? To achieve prosperity. So why don't we agree and we start with these scientists? Because they are few, they are not so many. But we need them now. Arts, I am a person of arts myself. I'm literature and political science and history. But now we don't need poetry now. What we need immediately now is the one to maintain the road. You need poetry, yes. We need it. I can quote for you Shakespeare if you want. Shakespeare said, of all the wonders I yet have known, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing death, a necessary end, will come when it will. That's Shakespeare. Now I'm quoting for you. But now, you need food now. I've given you Shakespeare, but you are hungry. So what do we do now? The Wanyankole say, Nkunandire. I joke when I am satisfied. So we say, let's start with these scientists, because the scientists are in veterinary, they are in crops, they are on the roads, they are on those factories, they are on these vehicles. Yes, let's start with this, because first of all, they are fewer, but we need them urgently now. That's really the logic. It's not that we don't want to pay all the others well. So therefore, I am glad that eventually you seem to have understood, and we are moving systematically. You will be paid. The arts people will be added on, but let's go kamwe ngochi, kamwe ngochi, kamwe ngochi, kare. So that is really what I would like to mention. There are so many things we can talk about. Now, regarding the corruption, but this is very easy to deal with. If they are asking you for bribes, why don't you inform your member of parliament? What are the members of parliament for? They are also corrupt. Oh, banange, not food there. But you can inform the bishop. The bishop somehow can go through the interreligious council and get to some of the leaders, even myself, because I meet them once in a while. Find a way of capturing this information. If somebody wants a bribe, we should get rid of that person. Should be in jail. Why should you tolerate that situation? Get the information and we get rid of these people. I'm happy to be here with Mama and see that you have been exposed to the way to think about the world in a correct way. It is now my pleasure to pass you out.